For the final two races of the GT4 European Series, we are in Saudi Arabia. Welcome to the Jeddah Corniche circuit and GT4 European Series powered by RAFA Racing Club. Race 1 is going to be under the floodlights in the darkness. Well, darkness to a point. It is dark at this time of the day, but the circuit is so well illuminated, as you can see, absolutely exaggerates the nature of the circuit, and it really does make a fabulous facility stand out even more with the lights from not only the floodlights around the circuit but the hotels, the skyscrapers around, and a busy grid of GT4 cars assembling on the grid. David Addison trackside, and we're looking forward to what should be a really lively race. Everyone came here, I think, thinking there was going to be vast amounts of damage. Well, there hasn't been thus far, but we haven't, of course, yet had a race this weekend. We've had practice, we've had testing, we've had qualifying, and everybody's looking forward to seeing what goes in this first of the two races. In terms of the championship, Silver and Pro-Am will be decided this weekend. Am was wrapped up at Monza a few weeks ago for Pascal Houteau and Laurent Hergon, so that's all done and dusted, but the other championships will be decided this weekend. It may be that the silver crown goes in this race, depending on whether number 78 McLaren finishes ahead or behind of number 3 Audi, and if it's behind, to what extent, because really the Audi number 3 of Robert Consonny and Benjamin Lariche has got to be ahead of the Tom Levin and Josh Rattican McLaren, and has got to be 7 points ahead to nudge things to tomorrow's race. But the fact that Rattican and Levin got the point for pole also has to be factored into the mix as well. So there is the grid forming up. You, I'm no doubt, are familiar with the format of the GT4 European Series. 1 hour race, pit window 25 to 35 minutes. Here, the pit stop time is going to be 74 seconds line to line, and if you're a soloist you have to do that, but you also have to get in and out of the car as well. And there are a couple of solo entries. The regulations don't like soloists, but there is the provision, should it be under force majeure impossible to get a co-driver. The car of Tom Emson and Alex Denning on one side of the grid. This is Josh Rattican's Elite Motorsport McLaren lining up for pole position. Slots into place. And the car into position, getting everything lined up. And for Josh Rattican, after a really good effort in qualifying, the car is now in exactly the right place to appease the officials, and the countdown can continue. We're about 15 minutes or so away from the start of the race, and it's going to be an all McLaren front row with the car to watch for the championship in silver, number 3 Audi starting 4th, so a row back. But Benjamin Lariche and Robert Consonny, the two drivers. Robert Consonny has looked mighty around here this weekend, the former rally driver. He'll do stint 2, and I've been suggesting that perhaps one of the reasons he's adapted so well is the proximity of the walls, a bit like a imposing rally stage. There, number 15 is 3rd on the grid, the Mercedes AMG of the Spanish driver Luc Ibanez, the NM Racing Team entry, the Barcelona-based squad. Alex Papadopoulos will do the 2nd stint. They had a win at Misano, and Papadopoulos is a little bit sluggish in his session, but he's one to watch, hopefully with a bit more mileage come the race. Let's hear from Tom Emson, whose car is on the outside of row 1. Antonio Rankin is down there.
Tom, there is such a great atmosphere here today. Are they going to be here to watch you win?
Yeah, I mean, this grid's the busiest I've seen it all year, so yeah, massive atmosphere, and it only helps us really. I mean, we've put it on pole, both cars front row, and tomorrow's race looking really good as well. Promising we've had all year.
Now, starting on pole, like you said, lots of people here and the final race of the season. Do you feel like there's some pressure?
A little bit, but just here to enjoy it. We've had not the best season so far, so yeah, we're just making the most of it at the last round.
It's great to see you up here. Best of luck, thank you.
It is great to see the car at the front, and partly because it's been a troubled season for number 77. 78 clearly has had a good year, hence it's in the fight for the championship, but 77 has had all the bad luck, it seems, and pace has gone really unrewarded, so hopefully this can turn that around. There's number 3 then, with the sort of bullet holes in the window on the screen, on the rip-off windscreen that it has, the tear-off windscreen. Benjamin Lariche then, former single-seater racer, got as far as the MSV era of Formula 2. That's Robert Consonny. He's going to do the 2nd stint. Lariche will start. And Robert, quick driver, but normally, I would say, just slightly edged by Benjamin Lariche. Not here, intriguingly. So the Audi lines up, and he's good to go. We've got a really good, strong grid, 35 cars in total. This is the furthest, of course, that the GT4 European Series has travelled. First time it's been outside Europe, because I think the furthest afield it had been prior to this was the Slovakia ring. But a little bit like the FIA GT Championship and the European Touring Car Championship went to Dubai in 2004. In 2024, we take the GT4 European Series and World Challenge Europe for GT3 cars to Saudi Arabia and take SRO's GT portfolio to a whole new market and a whole new fan base as well. Another of the quick Brits is Jamie Day in the racing spirit of Le Mans Aston Martin. And Jamie and his team having a quick look at some of the footage before the final glug of water is taken, and then it'll be time to get on board. Shares that car with Mateo Villagomez, the Ecuadorian driver there. Jamie Day ready to go racing. Jules Gounon arrives on the grid to have a look at what's going on after a frustrating day at the office in his car, after his co-driver clanged the wall in the most recent session and broke the rear suspension on his first flying lap. So Jules has spent quite a lot of the afternoon in Civ. He's not doing very much, so you might as well come and watch a very good race in prospect, no doubt. Track temperature, well, it's 25.9 degrees outside. The 6.176 kilometre circuit has 27 corners on it. Track temperature 29.8 degrees, the ambience 25.9, and the drivers having taken some fresh air. Not often you see them all jump out of the cars, but here they certainly don't want to be incarcerated for longer than is necessary. So as the countdown continues, the likes of Alban Baruti here, who is on pole position in Pro-Am, is ready to get on board. He was the Am champ last year and he's had another stellar season here. And the Porsche driver, helmet on, ready to go. Alban Baruti sharing with Julien Piguet. Let's head back to the grid. Max Kronberg, Finn Zulauf, Pro-Am champions potentially. Let's hear from Max Kronberg.
Max, so close to being the Pro-Am champions. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm really excited about the race. I mean, the atmosphere is great. I really love the track, but still it's like 2 races to go. We are currently ahead, but you know, like in motorsport, anything can happen. So, and we are like our competitors directly next to us. So I think it's going to be an interesting race.
Well, if you outscore them by only 7 points this race, you will be champions by the end of this evening. Being that close, does it make you feel a bit nervous?
Yeah, sure, like a little bit, but try just like to push it away the thought and just like focus on having fun, enjoying the race, and be quick on the track.
Enjoy it. Thank you very much.
There will be some pressure for Max Kronberg, but his co-driver Finn Zulauf is another very, very handy peddler. Finn will go first, and Max Kronberg to take over for the second stint, and then of course you switch it around for the second race. They have had 4 pole positions, and I think I'm right in saying they've had 4 wins as well, because barely a weekend has gone by without them scoring at least 1 win. Only at Misano did they not win, so 4 wins out of the 5 weekends thus far. New to the championship there is the Razun Porsche. Simon Birch comes out of GT2, where he's had a year of KTM experience, to join Ivan Ekelchik, and they've done pretty well actually. And Simon Birch starting this race from 7th on the grid will be a man to watch, I think, as well, and hopefully we'll see more of him in GT4 next season. It is a very busy grid indeed, with not just the teams, but also the local officials and local VIPs all bustling away. The security team at the back ready to try and, if you like, sweep the grid, but it's going to take a moment or two, I think, to get everybody through the gap in the wall and ready to go to enjoy what promises to be a really, really busy race, that's for sure. We have, of course, 2 of the Ford Mustangs from the Academy Motorsport team. Eric Evans will start 61, 62 will be started by Will Moore. And we're getting news from the grid that 77, which was the elite McLaren, clipped the door of number 3 Audi as it got to the grid. So number 3's picked up a little bit of damage, we understand, on the grid. Of course, it is quite crowded, trying to get cars through and into position, but it looks as though the Audi may have suffered a little bit of damage on the grid. 5-minute board is there. Whether or not the damage to the Audi is going to be serious, we'll have to wait and see. 62 is there, Will Moore. Now, another driver that we ought to hear from is Saudi driver Rima Jafali on the grid. She's with Antonia.
Rima, a home crowd, how excited are you?
I'm incredibly excited to be here racing in my home city of all places. Incredible. I keep pinching myself seeing this happening in my hometown. I mean, just hoping we can put a good result together. This is a challenging race. Walls are very close. The first corner is going to be tight, so just hopefully we get out of it clean and enjoy the race.
It is such a challenging circuit. How much preparation have you had to do?
We've had some good days testing prior on Thursday, and that really helped us, and we kept improving session on session, but these guys have done a whole championship, so we're trying to catch up, and I think, you know, we've done decent in the first race weekend being here, so we're hoping for a good result, and let's see how it goes. We just have to stay out of trouble.
All the best. You've got everybody here for you. Thank you.
Rima Jafali, racing driver, Rima Jafali, role model, that is for sure, and ComTQ running those cars. So all personnel, please leave the track. That's the message now being shown. There, number 24 is Vinny Beltramelli, who will start in the JSB Competition Porsche. And that'll be another quick car. Big wave from Vinny Beltramelli. Then that car will line up on the inside of the fifth row of the grid, pole position on the pit lane side of the grid, because the first corner is a left-hander, so it's pole position on the inside line. For, if you like, an anti-clockwise circuit. There's the grid stretching all the way back. At the back of it is number 444, the second of the team speed car Audis, which is Julien Ripper, who will go first. And in fact, go second as well. He's one of the two soloists, Julien Ripper. So he's got an hour of racing today, an hour of racing tomorrow. Number 7 is the Mirage Racing Stanislav Safronov started Aston Martin that Alexander Weintraub will take over. That's another car fighting for honours in Pro-Am against the Max Kronberg Finn Zulauf Porsche, and they line up alongside one another. 3-minute board now shown, 3 minutes to go, so please everybody off the grid if you will, please, as quickly as possible, so we can get things underway. And at the front of the grid, the two McLarens then, the British constructor these days, British team, Elite Motorsport running those cars. Further back on the grid, number 30 Porsche, Finn Zulauf will go first. A little bit of battle-scarred bodywork at the front of it, but Finn Zulauf, a very quick young driver for W&S Motorsport, has proved that over the course of the season. Winner at Paul Ricard, winner at Spa, winner at Hockenheim, winner at Monza, championship leader, and 4 times that Porsche has been on pole position in its class as well. So the final few people making their way from the grid. It's going to be a rolling start as you look at Ricardo van der Ender's BMW. Ricardo van der Ender is always a man to watch, very spectacular, very quick, and it's great to have him on the grid as well. That could be a car to watch, I think, the number 17 BMW. A little bit further back maybe after qualifying than you would normally expect to find it, but certainly one that will push forward. Ricardo van der Ender and Benjamin Lessen, two very, very quick drivers. So rolling start, which means that at the end of the formation lap, if you're new to the GT4 European Series, the cars don't stop on the grid. If the race director, Joël Doval, is happy with the order, he'll give the signal to start the race, and then we will be in business. As you see, Beke Beschler's BMW, Turkish driver, race winner this year, going back to Hockenheim, the German circuit. He won the first race there. So the last of the VIPs off the grid. At the 1 minute ball, the engines will fire up, and that's when the mechanics scarper, and then the formation lap will be underway. So there, looking through the side of Josh Ratican's McLaren, you see over his shoulder Tom Empson's car. And so now the 1 minute board, everybody off the grid, please. 1 minute to go, engines fire, and we will have the cars released shortly behind the leading car. The leading car for these purposes is the Lamborghini Huracan official car. That blasts away. Then the race cars will be given the flag to set off, and the penultimate race of what's been a great year of racing in the GT4 European Series will be good to go. The last of the mechanics now head to the gate in the pit wall. The SRO officials ready to jump from the grid as well. Very shortly we will be in business. So 60 minutes of racing, and we'll see whether we get through without too many dramas. So looking further back down the grid, Finn Zulauf is good to go, and in the background on the grid, Laurent Gaudin, the GT4 sporting manager, just coordinating that everybody is off the grid before the safety car is released. But is there a problem, or is it just marshals that are still trying to get off the grid. I don't think there's an issue with the car. I think it is purely the number of people that have been on the grid and people all trying to funnel through the gaps. They've done that now, and so from the gantry we can get the green flag shown. Start line, just to make the point, further up the pit straight than is the finish line. So like most circuits, start and finish lines are in different places as the cars set off then on the formation lap right now, headed by Josh Rattican. So the formation lap is underway. The clock will start at the end of this as we will go racing for the penultimate round of the GT4 European Series for 2024. So it's going to be Josh Rattican on pole position, his teammate alongside Alex Denning. Then on the second row of the grid, it is Luc Ibanev and Benjamin Lariche alongside. Then it is Jamie Day and Alban Varuti ahead of Simon Birch and Eric Evans. Next is the number 24 Porsche of Vinny Beltramelli. Will Moore lines up alongside him ahead of Stanislav Safronov and Finn Zulauf, and they are fighting it out for Pro-Am honours in the championship. Beke Beschler and Ricardo van der Ende, both in BMWs, come next ahead of David Kuhlmann and Paul Petit. It is Vasily Vladikin alongside Jagish Gedich, and Cantu upgraded to Pro-Am, that car, after qualifying, and Vincent Beltoise alongside. Then it's Etienne Shelley's Toyota and Gustavo Xavier's Porsche alongside. Anthony de Barn lines up alongside Maximilian Tarillion, and then it's Kevin Jimenez and Gary Elielkova. Pascal Uto is the AM champion. He lines up alongside Fahad Al-Ghashaibi. David Maloney is next with Julien Brichet for company. Then it's Josh Miller a long way back, one to watch to try and make progress. Rumba Jafali is alongside. Roman Wozniak has Jean-Paul Dominici alongside him. And at the rear of the grid, it is Julien Rippert in the second of the team speed car Audis. So, as far as the silver championship battle is concerned, focus on 78, the yellow McLaren that's on pole, and the number 3 Audi. Audi must be ahead of the McLaren to force it into tomorrow's race. Then we need to see by how much it is ahead. But if the McLaren's ahead of the Audi at the end, it's done and dusted. In the Pro-Am battle, it is between number 30, the Finn Zulauf, and Max Kronberg Porsche, really up against the Stanislav Safronov and Alexander Weintraub, Aston Martin. 15 points are between those, and that's the closer battle. That probably will go down to the wire tomorrow. I've got a feeling that, barring a disaster, the silver contest may well be decided in the next hour, but we will see. There's no guarantee, as we've had proved plenty of times in the GT4 European Series in the past. So the field now wriggling its way up through the second part of the lap. There's round about 2 to 2.5 kilometres worth of the lap towards the turn 13 hairpin, and then the rest of the 6.1 kilometre lap the other side of it. So there's quite a lot crammed in after turn 13 in this 27 corner lap. Number 24 there, the Porsche of Vinny Beltramelli, goes through, and now the circuit, as any circuit does in the darkness and under the lights, takes on a whole different character, and the drivers, having been on track yesterday to gain obviously some knowledge of the track at night, but they did qualifying in the daylight, have to adapt to a different feel altogether now. Just like any GT grid, the GT4 European Series doesn't just have different shapes and different sizes, has plenty of different sounds as well, all different engine notes, and the Ford Mustang going through has that real rumble, a real howl. The Mercedes has a growl, the rather flatter Porsche engine note. The BMW tends to boom past you, and you're on board the Porsche right now of Finn Zulauf, weaving to get warmth into the Pirelli tyres on which everybody runs. So the final activity of the day, the cars on this formation lap now getting themselves into the 2x2 Noah's Ark formation. This is the view out of the front of Josh Rattican's McLaren, the lead car ahead. Lead car here means the pace car, effectively, rather than leading the race. It will bail for the pit lane. The safety car, if it's required, is already stationed around the racetrack. So the cars now trickle down to the turn 27 sharp left-hander. The lead car, as it is, with the lights are flashing, will quicken its pace and bail for the pit lane. It's then up to the 2 front row drivers to control the pace on the way up towards the start line. It's a long drag out of turn 27. Don't think we're about to go racing. It's quite a long time out of the corner. You have that little kink onto the pits straight, and then you have to go a little bit further up to the start line, which which is there, so the cars aren't arriving too fast at turn 1, because if they started the race from the timing line, they'd be arriving at the first corner at a much, much higher speed on the first lap, and that would not be quite so safe. So we're almost ready to go as the field now accelerates up towards the line. The lights on the gantry will change any moment to get the penultimate race of the year in GT4 European Series underway. The lights do go green. Ricardo van der Ender's BMW bails out one side, and the McLarens, I think, are going to be headed down towards the turn 1, with on the outside line Benjamin Lariche having a go to get past Alex Denning, who leads, and number 3 Audi does nip ahead of 78 McLaren. We've got cars over the curb, cars over the runoff area. They have not quite all survived, because there's a spinner in the background, and that looked as though it was 55 Alpine and Pascal Hutto, the AM champion, facing the wrong way. He tries to get going. The rest funnel their way now through turns 4 and 5 and 6, but up front it's McLaren 1, 3, and the speed car Audi sandwiched between the two of them, and it is ahead of 78. So the car of Benjamin Lariche has done what it needed to do straight away, jump ahead of 78. Now he's going to try and get away and outscore that by 7 points, but we've got a lot of the race left before we need to think about numbers. To the inside line, feints there, Josh Rattigan coming up towards turn 13. Simon Birch is 4th in the red and white Porsche. And Josh Rattigan goes out wide and loses a length or so against the number 3 Audi of Benjamin Lariche coming off the corner then. So as the field turns now out of turn 16, we have number 30 Finn Zulauf's Porsche having dropped by the look of it behind Savronov in the Aston Martin, and that again is crucial for the Pro-Am Championship. So the field now accelerates down through towards turn 22, which is the next hard break. This is it, and you suddenly swing left, and 1 or 2, as you'll see, run wide. That corner re-profile just to give a better line of sight, but some will run deep, and that's going to be another place where you'll find drama over the course of the hour. So at the end of lap number 1, it is going to be Alex Denning in the lead of the race from, in second place, Benjamin Lariche, in third place there, 78, which is now Josh Rattigan. And to the inside line for the race lead goes a really committed Benjamin Lariche, and he's done it. He dives by. Up the inside line goes the Audi. Nicely done by Benjamin Lariche. So he will lead at the end of lap 1, and Robert Consigny is a happy man, and so the Brains trust the team speed car. So 4th on the grid, and lap 1, it is number 3 Audi that leads across the line, and Benjamin Lariche is on a mission. Now Elite need to think about whether they need to switch over, and there Simon Birch dive bombs for third place as well. Goes a little bit deep into the corner, but Josh Rattigan needs to be leading. He's now down to 4th, and it could become 5th in a moment, because he's got Lucky Banyeth charging along behind him as well. Right, it is Lariche in the lead. Second, it's Alex Denning now. Third there, look, Simon Birch going really nicely. And in 4th place, Josh Rattigan, who needs to regroup here and have a think about, OK, let's not panic. We've got an hour or so, 57 minutes. We've got the pit window to do. Let's just work to a plan. Eddie Ives, the team owner, will be on the radio, no doubt, as well. The start's being investigated just to make sure all was done properly. But now, look, Rattigan is on the attack, yes, but he's also being caught by Ibanez, who is taking with him Jamie Day and Ricardo van der Ende. 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, all in a queue coming up towards turn 13 into the hairpin here. Alex Denning regrouping against Lariche because he's done an absolute best within the first sector. To the outside of Rattigan goes Luc Ibanez. That's brave, brave, brave. Does it work? Not quite. All over the curb in defence there goes the 4th placed McLaren. And so that fends off Luc Ibanez. Now 78 on the tail of Simon Birch for 3rd place. Now let's have a look at a replay of the start. The lights go green. Did 77 jump? I don't think he did. Looks as though the lights were green before he accelerated, but it's 77 that leads into the first corner. That's being looked at anyway. The start's under investigation, and there were 1 or 2 dramas a little bit further back. Wait for the Alpine to get turned around. There it is. It was by one of the Saudi racing Astons, wasn't it? 26 was getting involved in that, which was Rima Jafari, just tagged the Alpine. Right, so Pascal Hutto drops back, and here's your fight for 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th places now. Van der Ende joining onto the back of the train. So Josh Rattigan having a pretty torrid first couple of laps. He's defending from Ibanez. Ibanez is under attack from Jamie Day. Look in the yellow over red over black Aston Martin coming out of turn 27. But Benjamin Lariche leads the way. And he goes through with Day on the attack as well. And a problem here. This is Finn Zulauf. So the Pro-Am Championship leader has hit the wall, I think, and has got a problem. So Zulauf with damage. pick that up in a moment as the fight for third dives up towards turn 1 here. Ibanez keeping Van der Ende at bay. Right, this is on board with Zulauf. What do we see? Up the inside of the Mustang. Traffic to the left, traffic to the right. Oh, he gets a whack in the back, does he? And that puts him in the wall. So I think there was contact from behind that fired Zulauf towards the barrier, and the frustration is instant. Yellow flag, turn 21. Yeah, he did go. He's number 12 BMW. Beke Besler got good and hard into the back of him, and Besler's in the wall as well. That's why we've got a yellow flag out. Beke Besler has, not for the first time today, picked up damage in the BMW. He did the right front corner in qualifying, and that's going to be a safety car, I would have thought, to get that off the track. So that's why Zulauf was in the wall. We do indeed go safety car. But Zulauf was in the wall because he got hit by the BMW. So effectively, they're both out of the race now, and we go safety car. That's going to bunch them all up. You can't overtake, of course, under the safety car, but we are now going to have the field all in a long, long line. Phew, right, okay, that was the first 2 laps of the race, and we always knew it was going to give drama, and boy, has it done. Not just in terms of the race, but also for the championship, with number 30 Porsche out of it, with the damage picked up. Finn Zulauf is in the pits, and Beke Besler is in the wall. That deprives us the chance of watching Gabriele Piana in stint 2, who's always a very quick driver indeed. So the cars under safety car conditions, making their way now towards the end of the lap. Oh, and there's another one with damage. That's 62, which is the Will Moore driven Mustang. You can hear the front splitter of that car flapping against the ground, and I think that's going to end up in the pit lane in advance of the pit window, isn't it, to say the very least. I think race control will want that in. So big problems for 62. So now the field all brought to good order, and as soon as it's safe so to do, the officials will scramble to get number 12 BMW off the track. It's a really narrow strip of land here, so there's very, very little width between the back straight, if you like, here, and the front straight they're about to come onto. But it does mean there's one single road between the 2 sides of the circuit, so once you get a car through the gate, it's quite easy to have it off the circuit. Leaders come across the line. All of these laps under the safety car do count. So as they come by, number 3, Benjamin Lariche, up front, leading the race. Alex Denning in 2nd spot, and quite a gap has opened up to 3rd, which is being shown as Alban Veruti. I was thinking it was Simon Birch, so apologies if I've called the wrong Porsche. Where is the Simon Birch car? Down to 8, so yeah, Alban Veruti is now 3rd, Josh Rattigan is 4th, 5th is Jamie Day, Luc Ibanez is 6th, Ricardo van der Ende is in 7th place, and Simon Birch in the background is 8th. And this is how the championship looks at the moment. It would be advantage Rattigan and Levin, because they are within the 7 points. So the cars trickle through, and they're number 3 Audi, the race leader. But of course we've got a pit window yet to factor in, so we're certainly not home and dry for the championship situation. So the safety car starts to slow the pace to give the track workers a little bit more time to sort out the number 12 BMW. 25 points for a win. So Lariche needs more cars in his class between him and number 78 McLaren, and at the moment, although they're 4th on the road, number 78 Josh Rattigan, Tom Leben are 3rd in class, and that would still be enough. So that car still looking good. This is how now Pro-Am would look with the demise of Zulauf and Kronberg. Weintraub and Safronov would have the advantage by just 1 point going into tomorrow's race. So Silver is not quite as close, but that drama for Zulauf and Kronberg has certainly made Pro-Am very, very, very competitive going into tomorrow. But having said that, we've still got nearly 51 minutes of this race to go, so those predictors could all yet change. You've seen how quickly things can turn around in a GT4 European Series race. But right now, you're looking in Silver at 25 points for Benjamin Lariche and Robert Conseny. 15 points for third place for Ratican and Leben, plus another one for pole, so we'll call that 16 points. That's number 75 Porsche, which leads Pro-Am on the track. Paul Petit at the wheel of it at the moment. He does the opening stint in that car before he gives way to Noam Abramczyk. So we've lost Beke Beschler and we've lost Finn Zulauf after being hit from behind by Beschler. Odd that Beke Beschler has had so many dramas today, because he's not normally somebody that hurls the car at the scenery, but he's had a tough day at the office, that's for sure. Normally pretty solid driver and rapid to boot. Alex Denning there going through in second place, Alban Varuti in third. And Simon Birch there, who sort of fell away a little bit on the opening laps, wrong red and white Porsche. Paul Petit goes through ahead of Stanislav Safronov, who needs to try to jump ahead of that Miami blue Porsche to make sure of a class win as the race goes through. Behind is Pedro Ibrahim Yagish-Gedik's surviving Borusan BMW. And we're heading towards the part of the racetrack where Beke Beschler's Borusan BMW had its strife. So as soon as the track is clear, the instruction can be given to extinguish the lights atop the safety car, but it's taking a little bit longer than hoped to move the BMW, isn't it? The car needs lifting. So the field has to come by before the marshals can carry on working. Slowly, slowly, slowly the cars come through. Toyotas together. Alpine trying to recover. Where did 55 Pascal Houteau drop to? Well, he's 28th now, but has made up some ground, partly with others having problems, but equally with his own good racecraft. So we're on lap number 4, and the pit window between 25 and 35 minutes of the race. Quite a bit of debris on the track, some of which I suspect has come from the Max Kronberg Finn Zulauf Porsche. That's turn 27 with that long, wide runoff area on the outside. And now the speed quickening once more as the cars come up the pit straight. On the track, silver, as we've been seeing, is Lariche and Conseny, the leaders. Pro-Am is the Varuti Porsche, and Am is currently number 317 BMW of Anthony Debarn. There's a lot of damage done to that Porsche, really is. So Beke Beschler got into the back of the car, and then I think as the car bounced off the wall, others got into the side of it as well. So quite a lot of damage done for Kronberg and Zulauf, and they've got to try to fix that for tomorrow's afternoon race. They race much earlier tomorrow. So the cars trickle by. Yellow flags busily being waved by the marshals, who've been on post for a long time. They get here early in the morning, and of course it's very, very hot for them, as it is for our camera crew out in the elements as well. They've all done a sterling job. So the cars go out of turn 1, which is the left. They go right at 2, and then the speed quickens for the next part of the lap. Have we got 62 into the pit lane as well? Did I see Will Moore had come in? Yes, he has, in that battered Mustang. So let's have a look at what's been going on. This was the start, so lights go green. The McLarens away together, but it was a better start by Alex Denning on the outside, but a brilliant start, you've got to say, by Benjamin Lariche from the second row to get second place. And then he made his move for the race lead at the end of the lap, lined up on the inside line and went through. Alex Denning gave him racing room, but job done. And this was what happened to Zulauf. Might have lifted because of the Mustang having a bit of damage ahead. Yeah, the Mustang got hit, Zulauf lifted, and then Beschler got into the back of him, and that's why we've got the safety car boards and flags all around the circuit. But it was a big hit that Zulauf took, and it was a big hit that Beschler took into the wall, and there is the car suspended, get it through the gap. And big disappointment for Finn Zulauf and Max Kronberg. Antonio Rankin is with them.
Finn, we're just watching the replays up there. How does it feel watching it back?
Yeah, it's really frustrating. Obviously, we were fighting for the championship, or we still are. And yeah, I was really careful in the beginning because we knew it's going to be tough.
But yeah, first lap was okay. I mean, the start was not good, was a bit strange, but yeah, then it was okay. And then all of a sudden the Ford braked next to the Aston Martin we're fighting against in the championship, and yeah, I also had to brake, and then the car behind me hit me, and yeah, we're at the wall, sadly.
I mean, it looks like it was very difficult to have avoided anyway. If you were to get back in, could you have done anything differently?
To be honest, I don't think so, because it was just, yeah, I think a racing incident. The Ford touched the Aston Martin, so we all got closer, and yeah, then the Ford had to brake on the straight, and nobody expected it, and I also had to brake, and the car behind me had no chance.
So do you think the car will be all right for the race tomorrow?
Yeah, I hope so. The mechanics are doing fantastic work always, and yeah, I think that they can fix it for tomorrow. I hope so, at least, and I hope that we have another chance tomorrow.
All right, thank you very much.
Fingers crossed for Finn Zulaf and Mats Kronberg, and with the BMW off the circuit, we should be able to go back racing this time. So the safety car is on the circuit. When the lights go out, that's the indication that it will peel in at the end of the lap, and we will go back to race conditions then. So we are not far away from that. The fact that you've got the safety car out of shot means it has sped away. It will be coming in, and it's up to now Benjamin Larouche to control the pace as he accelerates then towards turn 27. And we've only got about 8 minutes or so really before the window opens for the pit stops, and that again is going to be crucial to the outcome of the race. So out number 30, out number 12, and the remaining 33 ready to do battle then as they try to get the tyres back up to temperature, the pressures back up to an operating level as well. And now Benjamin Larouche accelerates down towards the end of the lap. Let the safety car get a long, long way away, but that doesn't really matter. It's up to him to control the pace when the lights go out. So here now comes Benjamin Larouche. He's made a good restart, in fact, to jump by a couple of lengths ahead of Alex Denning. The other McLaren 78, Josh Rattigan, goes over some of the debris on the road there. Let's hope that's not going to be an issue later on in the stint. So Larouche leads the way then. Denning second, Alban Baruti leading Pro-Am, third overall. And it's Paul Petit, the driver second in Pro-Am, a little bit further back, in fact, in 11th place ahead of Stanislav Savronov. Out of turns 1 and 2. That is Ricardo van der Ende having to take to the escape road, survives the dramas. 7th he was at the start of the lap. But look, that Audi is getting away and still 4th on the road and 3rd in its class, number 78 McLaren. So here, Josh Rattigan trying to get on with the programme and gain some ground. Race leaders thread their way between the concrete and blast their way once more down towards turns 7 and 8. We've got the Porsche then of Alban Baruti with Josh Rattigan, and then Jamie Day as well in the Aston right up behind. Then it's Luc Ibanez in 6th, 7th was Van der Ende. Is he still there after his excursion off the road? The answer is yes, and it's Simon Birch in 8th place as Rattigan gets on the outside of Baruti. He's going to go all the way around the outside of him at turn 13. Brave effort by Josh Rattigan. He's got his nose in front, and he comes off the corner ahead. Great move. Really impressive job, that, by Josh Rattigan to go through. So that puts him up into 3rd spot, and straight away Jamie Day comes up to have a go at Baruti as well, whose primary concern here is to win Pro-Am, but really he would like to be as far up the overall classification as he can be. There are plenty of track limit warnings incidentally being thrown around, but up front it remains number 3 Audi leading the way. I wonder whether 77 Alex Denning will have to give way to 78 for the championship. Not yet maybe, but it could be an awkward conversation from the pit wall to number 77 McLaren in the second stint, depending on how the race pans out. A little bit further back you can see 61, the Mustang of Eric Evans, going through for 9th place. He's on the back of Simon Birch's Porsche. There's the similarly liveried car of AV, Alban Baruti, having dropped back behind Josh Rattigan. He's staying with him, and he's also keeping at bay Jamie Day as the cars now come towards turn 27. A little bit further back, Gage Gadic's car goes through, the blue surviving Borusan BMW. Simon Birch fending off Eric Evans in the surviving Mustang. Did Will Moore rejoin? Yeah. Yes, he has rejoined, but he's at the very back. And now look at all that grunt of the Mustang. Comes up to have a go at the Porsche as they come up towards the timing line. And he's got his nose in front as Derek Evans then as they come down towards turn 1. On the outside line is the Mustang. On the inside line is the Porsche. Last of the late breakers. Simon Birch back up on the inside. But the road comes to Evans. And there's contact between the two, and that breaks the suspension. Look on the Porsche. Simon Birch with a broken front right corner. The suspension is broken. The car limps on. But that is him out of the race. And very quickly the message will get through. Park it, and there's the gap. Let's see what happened then. On the outside line is the Mustang. They get together at turn 1, and the Mustang is a big old beast. So there, as the Mustang comes through on the inside, that was enough to just glance off the suspension. The right front corner breaks the suspension in the contact, and the Porsche is out. Here it is from another angle. Up the curb goes the Porsche. And there is the Mustang. There's the impact between the two. I just wonder whether the heavy landing off the curb may have weakened that right front corner on the Porsche, but either way, it's done and dusted now. It's out of the race. So another quick car is gone, and Josh Rattigan, having got himself up into 3rd place, there he is, has done the absolute best in the first sector. Simon Birch parks the Porsche then. The Razzoon no longer more than racing. It's not even racing. Porsche out of the race, sad to say, after a good first stint. But they will fight back tomorrow, no doubt. That deprives Ivan Ekelchik of a stint. He will be the start driver tomorrow. Good little battle going on there between the Vincent Beltoise Alpine and David Coleman behind in the Aston. So the race leader currently on lap number 7. We're back under green flag conditions. We've got about 4 minutes until the pit window opens. 39 minutes of the race in total. And it is Audi versus McLaren. It is Alex Denning in the McLaren in 2nd place, who is not dropping away, is he? Benjamin Lariche did a great job of getting himself into the lead. He's got the lead, yes, but he's not pulling away. The other thing that Lariche really... Oh, big drama there. More debris and a wheel and a car parked up against the wall. So there's another big impact. That's going to be another interruption, surely. So we're green at the moment, but with all of that debris on the road, I'll be surprised if we don't get another yellow to interrupt the race. We'll try and work out who it is that's gone missing as well. Just towards the end of the lap, it might well be... Yeah, there's the yellow flag for the Porsche in the background. Now, who has not come through at the end of the lap? We know about Simon Birch. Is it Josh Miller, number 5, maybe, in the Aston? That's another car that's not come by, so I fear it could be number 5, Josh Miller's car, that's clattered the barriers. So number 5, I fear, as you look at the lead battle, it was half a second between them. Josh Rattigan 3rd, did the fastest lap last time, and now for the lead, to the outside line, to the inside line, to the outside line goes Denning, trying to force a mistake out of Lariche. The McLarens, we know, are really quick through the hairpin, but the Audi's staying ahead as they accelerate. They're now down through that turn 14, way up the curb. All over the curb, indeed. There goes Alex Denning. And behind, Rattigan has done the fastest lap of the race and another absolute best first sector, so he's getting closer and closer all the time. Confirmation, it is Josh Miller, and a full course yellow is being called for to try to get the debris out of the way quickly. So the full course yellow is called. And we are under full course yellow conditions. So let's try and piece together what Josh Miller did wrong. Let's see. Comes through. There is the Aston. Just runs way wide. Massive hit into the wall. Rips the wheel off the car. Debris flies. Another hit into the wall. The wheel bounces from one side to the other and back again. And with bits of car all over the road. In fairness to Josh Miller, he did a really good job of finding a gap there very, very quickly and peeling out of the way. So it's not the car that needs removing, it is the debris. So full course yellow, debris on track, turn 24 on left-hand side. So another interruption just as we approach the pit window as well. So let's see how long it takes to get the bits out of the way. And there you can see marshals first of all trying to move the car further out of the way. I think this is going to be quite a longer operation than first feared, because as yet no one's been able to attend to the debris. They can only really do that once the whole pack of cars has gone through, and the longer it takes under full course yellow, the more temperature you lose out of the tyres and the more you will need a safety car to restart them. So, in theory, the pit window should open in just under a minute's time, but that may well now have to be delayed, given that we are under caution like this. So the field turns down to turn 27. Bit of a stop-start race. Pit window will be postponed. Confirmation from race control. And Josh Rattigan, fastest lap of the race, in third. You shouldn't really be closing, of course, under a full course yellow, because you're meant to adhere to the delta speed. And if everyone does that, then the gaps remain the same. But no doubt we will have a safety car restart, and at that point the gaps will come down, because everybody will bunch up ready for the resumption of the race. So over the timing line they come. And there the marshals now very quickly go to pick up the bigger bits, kick out of the way the smaller bits. That is an Aston Martin that we may not necessarily see tomorrow. Josh Miller having certainly hit the wall very hard. Ruben Delsart was looking a bit more comfortable in that car. Drivers in the pit lane at Elite, ready to go. Tom Levin and Tom Empson, ready to go. But not just yet, pit window delayed. So now, is it going to be a case of all hands to the brooms to sweep the circuit? Some of the marshals are trying to get the Aston to a safer place out of that cut-through, in case anybody else needs to park there. Check the Tech Pro barrier, hasn't been damaged as well. There are still quite a few shards on the ground, but hopefully they will be able to be swept out of the way. So full course yellow remains, and I think I've just seen the safety car go through, haven't I? So it looks like we are going to go safety car conditions, partly for the restart, partly just to control everybody's pace now, because one line behind the safety car will be a shorter line and take less time to get past the track workers than a full course yellow period will. So the field comes through now towards the hairpin. See how amazing the lighting is here. It's yeah, pitch black around the perimeter of the circuit, but the track itself could be daylight. Only really do the headlights on the cars give away the game. Safety car is on the track, but we're not yet under safety car conditions. There is Alban Varuti's Porsche with everybody else stacked up behind. Jamie Day, Luc Ibanez in the Mercedes, Ricardo van den Ende, Eric Evans, Vinny Beltramelli, then a gap to Stanislav Safronov, who has got ahead of Paul Petit. So our second interruption of the race, and the pit window, as I say, has been postponed. If the safety car is on track or a full course yellow period is in operation at the time, the scheduled time of the pit window, it will be put back until we go green again. Evidence of the variety there. Toyota, the Vasily Vladikin driven Supra, and Alpine behind, Vincent Beltoire's car. They are 13th and 14th. Pro-Am versus Silver. And the marshal there finds another big piece of bodywork. Well done. Scoops that off the racetrack. And sprints back to a safer place. So we are still under full course yellow. Not yet has the instruction been given. It has now to go safety car. Sooner said than done. So the pace can be quickened, ready for the restart. The 80 km/h delta speed for a full course yellow, whereas the safety car is unofficially known as motorway speed, so you can go that little bit faster. Also means everybody bunches up. There is a good old phrase of safety cars breed safety cars, and of course the net is up here as you put everybody in one long line, you close the gaps, everybody is on the attack for the restart, and more drama can kick off. But the other reason for doing this is that you can go faster behind the safety car, so it gets the tyres up to temperature, therefore they operate better at the restart, they're not as cold. So we've had one full course yellow, our second visit in the safety car, and hopefully it'll only just be one lap, and then we can get things back underway and address this pit window, which in turn might well have an outcome on the final order of the race. So the field goes through. this is how we look in Pro-Am at the moment, with Alexander Weintraub and Stanislav Safronov running second, and that now would give them an 11-point advantage over Finn Zulauf and Max Kronberg. So fortunes are changing quite rapidly right now. Noel Abramczyk and Paul Petit third. Greg Gilver, I don't think he's here this weekend, is he? But Anthony de Barn is. They would be fourth. Anthony de Barn sharing with Jean-Mathieu Leandri for the purposes of this weekend. So the cars behind the safety car now start to quicken the pace. And the safety car will indeed be in this lap. So Joel Durval, the race director, happy to let them go this time. So through the hairpin at turn 13 comes the Audi. Benjamin Lariche at the wheel. This helps Josh Rattigan again, doesn't it? Because it brings him back onto the tail of the leaders. And ready for resumption of the race. So Rattigan needs to be on his toes, which I'm sure he will be, in fairness, because he's a feisty driver, Josh Rattigan, as is Tom Leben, who's moved from Ginettas through GB3 back to GT4. Red and white AV Porsche of Alban Baruti goes through, still leading in Pro-Am before he gives that car over to Julien Piguet for the second stint. Yellow flags continue to wave, but not for much longer, because at the end of this lap we will be in business. And the team's getting ready for a delayed pit window, and of course there will be less racing the other side of it for the incoming driver to be able to make an impact in. So Benjamin Lariche once more slows the field right down as he crawls now on towards the end of the lap. So down they come. And any moment we are going to have the pace quicken, and Benjamin Lariche again gets the jump over the McLarens, doesn't he? Because he's already about 2 lengths up as they come down towards turn 27. He goes early, but it pays dividends for him. So we're back racing. It is Audi, McLaren as they come through. Up towards the timing line, the lead gap, Benjamin Lariche over Alex Denning as we go back racing once more. Is already 0.7 of a second, so pressing on, no doubt about it. 2 McLarens together, and then a long queue of cars all stacked up for 4th place. Alban Baruti just ahead of Jamie Day, ahead of Lucky Bagneff, ahead of Ricardo van der Ende, ahead of Eric Evans, then Vinny Beltramelli's Porsche next. So they all funnel through and accelerate once again up towards turn 4. So Lariche leading, and we'll see whether he can build that gap with the pit window now open, so they can pit at the end of this lap. Alban Baruti will give way to Julien Piguet, Benjamin Lariche to Robert Consonny. The fascination now is, do people come in early and get out of the traffic and put a fresh driver in, or do they try and stay out for the length of the window? It depends if they're quicker than the incoming driver, really, quicker than their co-driver. Lariche normally is quicker than Consonny, but the way that Robert has gone around here this weekend suggests that they will be advised to get Robert in that car as quick as. Second spot, still Alex Denning, who will give way to Tom Emson. Third, Josh Rattigan, who will give way to Tom Leben. Through 16 they come, the first of the sort of heavier braking zones on that back part of the circuit. The other one is at turn 22. And there are track limit warnings coming now, and one of them is to the second place car of Alex Denning. So the more warnings you get, the more you're going to be in strife. He's had 2, so has Lariche, in fairness, so has Rattigan, and 3 track limit warnings have gone the way of Luc Ibanez. Again, wide, skipping over the curb, 78, and Alban Baruti was a little bit wide in the background. So Josh Rattigan goes through, accelerating down towards turn 27, and Now we'll start to see whether or not people are thinking about pit stops. We've seen the elite motorsport drivers already, whether it's for this lap, whether they're going to bring the cars in on the same and risk double stacking. We're about to find out, aren't we? The lead gap still a modest one, and actually Josh Rattigan has fallen away a little bit on this lap. 77 is in, and 78 stays out, so they're not going to bring them in at the same time. Also in is Jamie Day, number 82. A little bit further back to the pit lane comes Paul Petit, comes Yangish Gedik, amongst others. So not that many, in fairness, do come into the pits at the end of that first restart lap, and that means that the battle now is on between Benjamin Lariche on the track and Elite Motorsport in the pit lane to get that 74-second pit stop done as cleanly as possible. 74.1 seconds would be ideal. Anything under 74, well, there is a joker second you can use, but you can only use it in one of the two races. So be over by a tenth, not risk being absolutely on, and therefore perhaps getting a penalty for being short on the pit stop. It's amazing how many people still do slightly misjudge it, slightly mistime it, and cop a penalty. Alban Veruti going through in third place now as Benjamin Lariche tries to continue to build that gap. Now, though, it is over Josh Rattigan there. So it's for the race situation and for the championship. 62 is back in. Will Moore now to give way to Matt Nicol-Jones. Car tucked up behind the McLaren, for which the door closes. You've got to get on with your neighbour here with a very busy pit lane. And you can see how many cars are all crowded in at the top end. Away now goes the McLaren. So down the pit road goes, in 78, Tom Leben. And out of the pit lane, he will go in a moment. Sorry, not Tom Leben, Tom Empson, I should say, wrong McLaren. And that was 73.7 seconds. That was 3/10 under the regulation time, wasn't it? Whereas 82, Mathieu Villagomez at the wheel, was 7/10 over. So slightly under on the pit stop is there. Number 78, they can hopefully use that joker second and get away with it, but they can't do it tomorrow, can't do it in the second race. The incident between Simon Birch and Eric Evans, Marco Signoretti's Mustang 61, Eric Evans at the wheel, no investigation necessary. Race control have had a look and said, nah, just one of those things. So hard racing between the two. Sadly for the Porsche, it was contacted retirement, but nobody has a case to answer. Fastest lap of the race now, Benjamin Lariche, 2:11.219. We've got one or two more heading for the pit lane here. So through this 10-minute window, the order shuffles. We've got 23 minutes of the race to go. It is Lariche now leading, Rattigan in second, and Alban Veruti in third place. Van der Ende is up to fourth, Ibanez is fifth, and another wheel off a car, and it's one of the Saudi Racing Astons that has parked on the runoff, and there with the tyre off the rim. I don't know if it's the whole wheel, but certainly a tyre. The field sweeps through, and hopefully people can just duck up the inside of that. It sits right off the line, but in the middle of the road. So people have gone by, and which of the two? I've got a horrible feeling it's 26 that has suffered the damage. Anyway, the field have gone by for now. Debris on track at turn 5. If it was 26, this had only just left the pit lane. That car of Bandar Al-Asai. The other one is still being shown as at the pit lane. Let's have a look. Big slide, bang into the wall, wheel ripped off, wheel in the middle of the road, Porsche dodges it, and 26 parks. So yeah, Al-Asai on his outlap, straight out of the pit lane, pushing too hard and into the wall. So yellow flag out in the first sector. Heavy old things, those wheels. It is, as we've now seen in the replay, the whole wheel that's been ripped off the car, not just a tyre carcass off the rim, so it's quite a heavy thing to try to remove somehow. And you can't really coax it towards you like you can a dog or a cat. So there's the lead. Audi comes by, yet to pit. Into turn 27 now comes the team speed car Audi R8. Benjamin Lariche still at the wheel. Stays out for one more lap. Into the pit lane comes the championship rival 78 McLaren, Josh Rattigan still at the wheel, and Luc Ibanez bails this time, and also coming in looks like Vinny Beltramelli 24 Porsche. Right, the wheel is off the road, so the green flag is now back out in sector 1, As down the pit road here comes Josh Rattican. Long drive up to the very top end of the pit lane. The good thing is, of course, when Tom Leben is released, he's virtually straight over the pit outline, so he can just accelerate away, not have to worry about a pit lane speed limit. All that's done by the incoming driver. So there is 77, the sister car. Now, this has put Tom Emson provisionally 21st, but he's going to buy back a whole heap of places the more ahead of him cycle through their regulation pit stop, of course. Into the pit lane then, 78, and Benjamin Lariche still pushing. Needs to be ahead and needs to try to outscore that car by 7 points. 77 going through this now with Tom Emson at the wheel. And as I've been making the point earlier on in the day, it's been a tough season for this car. All the bad luck in the team seems to have gone their way, but hopefully that can be turned around at the very end of the year. There, being released in the pit lane, is 78. And 77 will move back ahead then. So that was how they were before the pit, 77 ahead. Different drivers, but the same cars in the same order. 77 ahead of 78. Now what we need to see after the pit stop for number 3 is where that car will blend in. The pit stop time for 78, a full second slower, but the right side, therefore, of that regulation, 74 seconds. So no need to worry about the joker for that car. There is Pedro Ibrahim in the blue BMW, who's taken that over. Benjamin Lariche is running out of pit window in which to stop now, so he needs to get on with the programme. And as he dives down to the left-hander of turn 27, no doubt Robert Consani is ready for him. Robert Consani ready to take over number 3 this time, as in comes Benjamin Lariche. So the race-leading car is in. We've got 20 minutes of the race to go, and Lariche up the pit lane has to slow right down as he gets to the speed limit line. Slowly makes his way up with a whole heap of cars behind him as well, serving their regulation pit stops. Past the stricken Zulav Kronberg Porsche. There, right up against the wall, is a very hard charging Tom Emson, trying to get away from a very hard charging Tom Leben for 2nd and 3rd places. And the number 77 McLaren, once again, just being able to stretch that advantage. Out gets Lariche, in gets Consani. And as into the car hops the former rally man. Let's see whether they can dispatch that before the McLarens come up towards turn 1. It is a long part of the racetrack still to go, but 74 seconds is equally a long time to spend in the pit lane. And then there's also the drive time up towards the pit exit, so even when the car is released, it doesn't thunder back into the race, it still has to bide its time, as it were. So there are the McLarens, accelerating up onto the pit straight. The Audi is almost ready to go. It's on its way now then. So not far from pit out is the Audi. It's going to accelerate away, but it's going to be marginal, this, as to whether number 3 keeps the race lead. Look, because on the track, 77 McLaren is almost going to be alongside as they come out of turn 2, but not quite. Even cutting the curb there doesn't quite bring Tom Emson alongside, but it does put him right back onto the tail. And Tom Emson is a lap into his stint, so he's a little bit more confident. He's got a feel for that car, whereas Robert Consani does not yet have that, because he's just been thrown straight into it, and he's got to deliver straight away as they now make that run out of turns 4, 5, 6. The next sequence that writhes its way towards the end of the first sector, but it's game on for the race lead with 17 minutes to go. Audi, McLaren, nose to tail, ragged, way up the curb. There goes Consani. The same is true, really, in 3rd place of the number 78, Tom Leben driven McLaren. Pit window is now closed. Everybody that can make a pit stop has done so. And coming out of the hairpin at 13, Robert Consani is under big attack, is he not now? Because right there behind is Tom Emson. It is Audi versus McLaren. And at the end of this lap, we'll start to get a better idea of the true race order now that all the pit stops have cycled through. But number 3 has kept his lead. And there behind, Tom Emson, still pushing hard to boot. Josh Rattican's car, Tom Leben at the wheel. That's just oddly, despite the fact he got pole, not staying with them in terms of race pace. Even safety cars bunching up the field haven't really helped that. So mysteriously, 78, having been on pole, not replicating the pace come the race itself. And 77 looks the fleeter of the 2 McLarens. See the gap between 2nd and 3rd right now. He stopped on different laps, admittedly. But even so, it's quite a margin between them, and it might get larger, especially given the way that Emerson is thinking about challenging Consonny. But look, now that Robert has got himself into the groove, the gap stretches again. It's advantage Audi, even though in qualifying it was very much advantage McLaren, locking out the front row of the grid. So the Audi needs to outscore by 7 points. And right now, it's 10 points between them. First Audi, third is number 78. And then you throw in that point for pole position. There is the Pro-Am leader, Julien Piguet, at the wheel now. Big battle on as well, because Piguet has got Benjamin Lassène right up behind him. Behind Lassène is Alex Papadopoulos, 7th in the silver Mercedes that he's taken over from Luc Ibanez. And right now, Piguet's Pro-Am leading Porsche, a little bit slower it seems than the BMW. Up the inside goes the BM. That's going to be for position, and in fairness, by being in a different class, Piguet does the right thing, lets them go. They're not really his fight. He wants to win the class, get the points for the Pro-Am, so he lets the Silver Cup cars go. So right now it will be a 22-point difference going into tomorrow's race, and it's 25 points for the win. So it's going to be very, very close, but it will just, I think, nudge it into tomorrow's race. So the race leaders currently work lap number 16. And the Tom Leben McLaren just not lapping as quickly as those ahead, as the lead Audi comes down towards turn 27. Team Speed Car knowing, come what may, they've got to win this, they've got to be ahead of 78. And in an ideal world, 82, Mattia Villagomez would get ahead of the number 78 McLaren as well, just to help the Team Speed Car entry. But the gap between third and fourth, 3.4 seconds. But the way that Villagomez is going in the background with the lights ablaze, might be possible. We'll see what the gap is. Oh no, it's gone up, 3.6. So, yeah, Leben is regrouping. Villagomez fourth. So 3.6 seconds it is now. So I think Tom Leben is safe in third position, even if he can't do much about the two ahead. Now, of course, what Elite Motorsport might think about doing is instructing Tom Empson to give up that place. Thing is, though, you pay for your drives in this championship. It's not quite like Formula One, so it's sort of every man for himself. And yes, they might do more for the team, but you try telling somebody that's paying to race to give up second position. It's not an easy phone call to make. Pedro Ibrahim's BMW, the surviving Borusan Automotive car, right there on the tail, as you can see, of Marco Signoretti's Mustang. The other car, Matt Jones, still going after the enforced pit stop earlier on in 24th place. But a really good battle, this, for 8th in the Silver Cup between Signoretti, the Canadian, and the Brazilian driver, Pedro Ibrahim. Through the hairpin at turn 13, they swing. Mustang versus M4, Ford versus BMW. Pedro Ibrahim, they're getting very close to the barriers. And the more confident drivers get over the weekend, of course, the harder they're going to push, and the closer to the edge maybe they get. So we've seen quite a bit of damage in this race, as we rather feared, and we've seen quite a bit of damage over the course of the afternoon in GT3 practice sessions as well. In the background, the little Alpine of Antoine Leclerc, 11th now. Car charging along and fending off in turn the 12th place Toyota Supra of Enzo Giulier that won the first race at Paul Ricard, but has never really been able to replicate that pace for the remainder of the season. Really curious as to quite why, because it's been a very quick car in the past, but the Supra this year just has not gelled. In Pro-Am's second place battle, Weintraub is ahead of the Razun Porsche of Richard Wolf. as the Porsche coming onto the pit straight now with 11 minutes on the clock. It's a long drag up over the timing line, and last time around Robert Consani did the fastest lap on the race as well, so 2 minutes 10.9. Robert Consani, quickest man on the circuit. It's not often that, as I say, he outpaces Benjamin Lariche, but round here he has really found his happy place. Big effort on the inside by the Toyota there, number 66, which is Cindy Goudet at the wheel, going ahead of Andy Cantu. So that is a change of position for 7th within Pro-Am. And this big battle going on now is for 8th, 9th and 10th overall, and 7th, 8th and 9th in silver, and it is between Brichet, Signoretti and Ebrahim. Vinny Beltramelli's Porsche, number 24, now given over to Florian Brichet. To the inside line goes Signoretti, to the outside line goes Pedro Ebrahim. Right up with them now is the little Alpine of Antoine Leclerc, very experienced racer himself. To the outside of the Mustang goes the BMW. To the outside of the BMW now tries to go the Alpine way off the racetrack is Pedro Ebrahim in the blue BMW, but he absolutely dive bombs the Mustang. Great move on the inside at turn 16 to go by, and brave strafe that by Pedro Ebrahim. He really teed that up beautifully, got the car on the right part of the racetrack, through he went, and so Pedro Ebrahim through. Here comes Signoretti fighting back, he goes off the circuit over the curb. Brilliant stuff, and the Mustang goes back through. Great racing between the pair. Back through goes Marco Signoretti. So the Ford Mustang back through, runs deep at turn 22. Pedro Ebrahim looks for a way back past once again, can't quite do it. Antoine Leclerc's Alpine presses on behind. And while all that's going on, so trying to get away, Florian Brichet, but he's not really achieved it, only by about, what, a car's length, despite the field delaying themselves behind. Behind Leclerc, you can see now is Enzo Juliet Supra trying to get up with them, but still not really having the pace. It still can't benefit, even from all the squabbling that's gone on up the road. Race leader comes through, 9 minutes to go. Constanita Empson is 2.5 seconds, another 2.5 back is Leben, who in turn, in fairness, is getting away from Villa Gomez. That gap not coming down. A look to the inside from Signoretti, a look to the inside for Leclerc. Off the road goes Ebrahim. And does he force the issue? Not really against Signoretti, keeps track position. Now has a look to the inside line, coming down to turn 4. See the pressure that Florian Brichet is under. You can see the pressure that Marco Signoretti is under. Now a lap ago, coming off the hairpin, he and Ebrahim traded the place, traded it back. Let's see what happens this time around. The BMW here is really quick, and Pedro Ebrahim looking mighty, really is. Comes out of turn 10. 11 is the bit where they're all up the curb, and then the next little kink is turn 12. We've got 5 in a line, with the Supra look in the background of Juliet catching up. To the inside line, tries to go the BMW, does go the BMW. And off the corner, Pedro Ebrahim is going to be ahead. Signoretti is right up alongside him once more. He's got the inside line, he's over the curb. Marco Signoretti stays ahead. This is where a lap ago the BMW made the move. Can't do it this time. Signoretti wise to what might be coming. Fends him off, closes the door, locks the door, bolts the door. No way through for the BMW. Alpine right on the back of the BM now. Antoine Leclerc looking for a way by. Next up is Enzo Juliet in the Toyota. Down through turn 22 they go, but despite all the squabbling, so Florian Brichet ahead in 8th place in the Porsche cannot get away. 7 minutes on the clock still. Now I think Marco Signoretti's got bored staring at the back of that Porsche. He's having a go on the inside line at turn 27, but couldn't quite commit to the move. The Porsche goes a little bit wide. Up the inside line now goes Marco Signoretti. The Canadian driver tries to level, but he can't get alongside. And while he gets a little bit stuck and ends up having to back out of the move, so that brings closer to him once again Pedro Ebrahim. Still, interestingly though, despite closing on that lap thanks to a bit of squabbling, the Supra falls away in a straight line. It really has been a frustrating year, as round the outside goes the Mustang, wide over the curb, back through on the inside comes the BMW as well. Pedro Ebrahim gets up past Beltramelli. I thought for a moment we were going to have another Mustang-Porsche incident, which would do for a Cayman, but actually this time Beltramelli has kept going, unlike Simon Birch, but he's lost another place now to Antoine Leclerc, who gets ahead of him. So that is bad news for the Porsche, Florian Brichet in Vinny Beltramelli's car, and it means that it tumbles down the order from the silver battle as well. It's not a case of keeping a class position. That's gone, and so the Porsche tumbles away. By now, 3 places lost. Way out wide goes Pedro Ibrahim there, coming out of turn number 11. There is a penalty going the way of Florian Brichet anyway for track limit abuses. Number 24, a 5-second penalty. So he's lost all of those places, and he's being given a 5-second penalty just to add to the woe. There is confirmation of it. So many warnings have gone the way of initially Vinny Beltramelli, now Florian Brichet, but the tally has been reached for a penalty. Up front, Consonny, 2.4 seconds to the good, still leading the way, 5 minutes on the clock. So the race leaders accelerate down towards turn 27. Here towards turn 22 comes the fight for effectively 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th places. BMW of Pedro Ibrahim trying to fight back now, but Ibrahim under attack as well as attacking, because he's also mindful that he's got the Alpine right up behind him as the cars drop down into turn 27 once more. Through the left-hander now, back onto the power. Up to the timing line will come Marco Signoretti. Another time penalty is being given for track limit abuses to number 46, a little bit further back in the queue, Jean-Laurent Navarro's Porsche. Just another Brichet team car. Antoine Leclerc, hard at work in the Alpine then. Shows how the BOP works. The Alpine that you kind of think as a small, slightly breathless car, able to compete with the BMW and the grunt-and-go Mustang up the road as well. The Audi of Robert Consonny turning around its season, keeping alive the championship hopes. It's going to be a very, very tall order, but it does push it to the last round provisionally. Way up the curve there goes Marco Signoretti. 8th place, Ibrahim 9th, 10th now Leclerc, Florian Brichet down to 11th. And we have got 3.5 minutes on the clock. Antoine Leclerc pulls out, has a look, and pulls back in again. That's Pedro Ibrahim there, come up to have a go at the Mustang. Ford quivering under braking as Signoretti hits the brakes hard and late going into turn 16, trying to fend off that BMW of Pedro Ibrahim. He's lost the place to it, he's gained it back as well, and now he needs to stay ahead. There is another 5-second penalty being applied to number 24, so Florian Brichet has got effectively 10 seconds now, 2 lots of 5. The race start has been looked at and there is no further action to be taken. All was good. The race leaders now work lap 21 in this twice interrupted race. So Robert Consonny, race leader and the fastest lap, and just being able to keep the championship hopes, long odds as they are, alive going into tomorrow's race provisionally. 2 minutes to go now, just over, and a flying lap at the minute is a 2 minutes 11 for the race lead car. So Robert Consonny is in the first sector. He might just be able to get one more lap out of it after this as you look further back at number 55 Alpine, which is Laurent Hergon and Pascal Houteau, who are leading in AM again. They've won the championship, they're on for another victory. They've made it very much their own. They've not won everything in the championship. They've not won the race class every time out, but they've come pretty close. It's been a really great season, and another victory beckons for number 55 because they are about 6 cars ahead of Jean-Mathieu Leandri, who is in second place within AM, and then third soloist Romain Wozniak. So the race leaders currently lap 22. One more lap at the end of this for Robert Consonny, but look at this great big line of cars. Signoretti, Ibrahim from Leclerc, then the penalised Brichet and Juliet in the Supra trying to catch back up again. Cars wriggling their way down towards 16, where again, closing under braking a little bit, is the Borusan BMW, but Marco Signoretti, I think, now has sussed out where his car is strong, where the BMW is strong, and how he can adapt to defending accordingly. Through they swoop once more. Down towards turn 22, the BMW does close up under braking. And are they getting any nearer, maybe, to Julien Piguet just up the road ahead, the Pro-Am leader? The gap between them was 11 tenths last time. In Sector 1, the gap was up. In Sector 2, the gap is down by 3 tenths. So, yeah, net, they are a little bit nearer to the Porsche. And the race leader is on his last lap now, with 14 seconds of the race remaining. And this, at turn 27, the cars come through. One more lap for Consonny ahead of Emson. Tom Leben in third place, so they're still going to be ahead. They've played the points game, you could argue here, but they haven't been able to wrap it up in the first race of the weekend. They're not far off being champions, but not quite. So up towards turn 1 for the last time go Piguet, Signoretti and Ebrahim. This is for 7th, 8th and 9th. Julien Piguet, again, could afford to let this whole wave of cars go by. He would still be on for a class win, but the racer in him wants to make sure that he's as far up the overall order as possibly can be the case. Swooping their way underneath the hospitality building that goes across both strands of the circuit. And then through turns 7, 8, 9, up the curb goes the Supra in the hands now of Enzo Juliet. The leaders then come down towards turn 16, and Robert Consonny there is ahead of Tom Emson and Tom Leben in third place. They're on the back part of the circuit, going under the same building that stretches across the two sides of the racetrack. But a really impressive drive this by Benjamin Lariche and Robert Consonny. A lot of it was done at the start with that demon getaway, but a good stint by Lariche with the interruptions, a really good start, also a good stint, I should say, by Consonny, illustrating his pace around here. It really is his happy place after being mighty in practice, mighty in qualifying, and in this race to get the fastest lap and a potential win. Number 3 Audi will just keep the championship alive into the second race. Again, needs a lot of bad luck to befall number 78 McLaren, but you can never tell what will happen in this championship, and this has been a very interesting race. So a corner to go for number 3. Benjamin Lariche started it. Robert Consonny brings it home. Audi number 3 for Team Speed Car is going to win race 1 of the weekend here at the Jeddah Corniche circuit in the GT4 European Series, powered by RAFA Racing Club. Robert Consonny and Benjamin Lariche take the win. And a big, big cheer goes up at the Team Speed Car garage. It's a race win, and the championship is not done and dusted quite yet. They're still up against it, but they've got one more roll of the dice tomorrow. Second, Tom Emson and Alex Denning. Tom Leben and Josh Rattigan take third ahead of Mathieu Villagomez and Jamie Day. And here, Julien Piguet is just going to be 7th ahead of Marco Signoretti, Pedro Ebrahim, 9th, 10th, Antoine Leclerc. Then on the road, Florian Brichet with multitudinous penalties to apply, and Enzo Juliet in 12th place. Now, Piguet and Baruti win Pro-Am. Richard Wolf, I think, is going to be 2nd in the end, with Gustavo Xavier in number 60, Porsche. And that means that Stanislas Safronov and Alexander Weintraub will be 3rd in the class, and we'll see what that does in due course to the Pro-Am championship situation. But a really good drive by Benjamin Lariche and by Robert Consonny, and they will make their way around to the pit lane and thence to the podium. The penalties accrued will be factored in, as there Benjamin Lariche is a very happy man indeed. Understandably, it's been a really, really tough year, and like I've been saying over the course of the day, the fact that they're still able to even think about winning a championship is quite something. And a double win at Monza was not only well deserved, but also vital in terms of the championship dream. So it is Consonny and Lariche the winners from Emson and Denning, and Leben and Rattigan 3rd. Piguet and Baruti win Pro-Am. 2nd, Richard Wolf and Gustavo Xavier. And then 3rd, Safronov and Weintraub. And in Am, Hergon and Hutto win again, which is their 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th win of the year. 2nd to Jean-Mathieu Leandri and Anthony Debar. And 3rd, the solo driver, Roman Wozniak, all of which is very provisional, depending on what other penalties might be lurking in the system. But I think most of them. So the Audi brings today to a close by heading the field around to the pit lane at the end of this first of the two races, and history made, the first GT4 European Series race outside of Europe, technically. First race at the Jeddah Corniche circuit, and a third win of the year for Robert Consani and Benjamin Lariche. Down the pit lane comes the car. And delight, no doubt, for the Audi drivers. So a win overall, and a win in silver for the Audi. Robert Consani, Benjamin Lariche victorious. From Tom Empson and Alex Denning, who made that great start. Alex Denning did, but couldn't quite stave off the attack from this car that wins, and it's a delighted Benjamin Lariche ready to say félicitations to his co-driver Robert Consani. He gets out of the car, a big embrace with Benjamin Lariche. Quick word maybe about what that does to the championship. And Robert Consani, who will start pole position as well for tomorrow's race after his efforts in Q2, can celebrate a really good win. The former rally man who's been very successful in GT4 terms takes another victory. Thumbs up to the crowds, to the cameras, and the winner's hats will be given to the team, to the drivers. Robert Consani gets his head out of the car, and into the presentation area comes Tom Leben for third spot. There's Tom Empson, second place driver. Robert Consani gets his hair right at the end of a tough stint. Gets his Pirelli winner's cap, which is mandatory for the podium. There's Alex Denning after his good first stint. Tom Empson in the background with his crash helmet still on. Crash helmet off, and fresh air gratefully received, I think, for Tom Empson. So, as our second place team discuss their race, let's hear from our race winners, Benjamin Lariche and Robert Consani, with Antonia.
Guys, you deserve absolutely every bit of that win. What a brilliant race.
Yes, I'm very happy. We are the first winner in GT4 in Jeddah, so it's an honor for us.
Yes, I didn't feel good in the car because I ate something bad before the race. So it was very tricky, very complicated to stay focused, but we won, yes, the first race in Jeddah. The atmosphere here is fantastic. The race by night is amazing, the track is amazing, and it's very nice to win. And I think we have a little chance to be champion. So yeah, we never know what can happen. It's motorsport, so we can fight until the end, till the last race. So never give up.
Well, Benjamin, Robert, you certainly did well today. Congratulations.
And Benjamin Lariche then explaining that he didn't feel very well after what he'd had at lunchtime, but being able to put that to one side and come out on top. So a job well done. And Robert Consani there puts the winner's board at the front of the car, and I think the win in Jeddah is having more impact than being still able to fight for the championship, because to win at a venue like this and be the first winners here in a GT4 car is quite something. So two very happy French drivers, Benjamin Lariche and Robert Consani, are the winners of GT4 European Series, powered by RAFA Racing Club Race 1. The RAFA Racing Club bit, the sponsorship comes from Rafael Martinez, who's been a regular in the championship this year, although his two McLaren's not here this weekend, but the support for the championship has been gratefully received all season, and we look forward to seeing Rafa back next year. So board in the air, very happy drivers indeed. Normally that's just to tell you where to park, but being brought into the photographs. Now, Alban Veruti and Julien Piguet are the winners of Pro-Am, and Antonia can have a word with the winning Porsche pilots.
Alban, Julien, you certainly held your own in that race, right in the thick of it.
What a race, what a show here. What a great race on the night. Thank you to Alban. He did an amazing start like usual after I just finished the job. Congratulations to all the great team.
We had such a great start, a great fight. The car was amazing. The team did a really nice job. And we try now to do the same tomorrow.
How special is it to win your class here at Jeddah? Such an incredible event.
Like you can see on the panel, this is the fastest street track of the world. So, no, it's very thrilling. It's very nice. All the people are very nice. The welcome is amazing, very warm. No, thank you, SRO, to be here.
Congratulations. Go celebrate.
So 2 more very happy customers and heading to the podium. Victorious in the Pro-Am category, Alban Veruti and Julien Piguet. I think Julien was a pretty good advocate for this place. What a race, what a track, what a backdrop, as you can see. And we'll hear in a few moments from our AM winners. We've got Pascal Houteau and Laurent Hergon ready to have a word as well with Antonia. They've already won the championship, of course. They won that at Monza, but yet another win, the 7th of the season. Let's hear from the Alpine drivers.
Well, what an incredible final race weekend this is turning out to be. Of course, already our AM champions, but this is a great way to start it off, Pascal.
Yes, we are very happy in Jeddah. It was a dream for us. Pascal did a very good stint. The car was very good, especially at the end of the track. So we are very happy. We won the championship, and I hope to do that another time next year. Thank you very much.
Et Pascal, vous avez été fantastique cette saison.
Ouais, c'est vrai que ça a été une saison complètement folle avec Laurent. Ça a été ça a été une très belle saison. On forme vraiment un super binôme. Après tous les podiums qu'on a fait, des souvenirs, des circuits de dingue, une saison complètement fantastique. Et gagner à Jeddah ce soir, c'est top. Donc voilà, maintenant 2 titres acquis avec l'équipe. Merci au team en tout cas pour le boulot qu'ils ont effectué. La voiture était top. Tout était top. On va essayer au moins essayer de terminer sur une bonne note demain maintenant.
Merci beaucoup. Félicitations. Pascal's just said how much it means to get a podium here of all places. They've had such an incredible season and they're going to go celebrate now.
So the Alpine drivers, class winners in the race, already class champions. They did that at Monza. Let's have a look at the provisional result. A win for Benjamin Lariche and Robert Consani from Alex Denning and Tom Empson. Josh Rattigan third, partnered by Tom Levin. Fourth to Jamie Day and Mattia Villagomez, ahead of Ricardo van der Ende and Benjamin Lessen. Sixth, Luc Ibanez and Alex Papadopoulos. With seventh, the winning Pro-Am combo. That's Alban Veruti and Julien Piguet. Eighth to Eric Evans and Marco Signoretti from Pedro Ebrahim and Yagish Gadic. 10th, Vincent Beltoise and Antoine Leclerc. Go down to 16th, you find the winning AMs. As you just heard, it is Pascal Houteau and Laurent Hergon. So the cars making their way back to the paddock shortly, but a really good drive by Robert Consani in particular. But in fairness to Benjamin Lariche, if he was struggling with food poisoning, then he deserves quite a bit of credit for that, doesn't he? To have been able to not just race, but to fend off the pressure from behind, to do the attacking that gave him the race lead, and to come through it all with still an outside chance at the championship. Josh Rattigan and Tom Levin then are still championship leaders from Robert Consani and Benjamin Lariche in silver. Benjamin Lessen and Ricardo van der Ende come next from Luc Ibanez and Alex Papadopoulos. Fifth, despite crashing today, Beke Beschler and Gabriele Piana. So silver will go down to the wire. It's into the last race, even though it's very much advantage to Rattigan and Levin. Pro-Am is another one that's going to be wrapped up tomorrow with the demise early on of the Finn Zulauf Max Kronberg Porsche. And it means that it's now just 4 points, in fact, between Weintraub and Safronov, Zulauf and Kronberg. they're the only ones that can really fight for it. So it's pretty much first over the line is going to be the winner. Tomorrow, the better placed crew will be champions, effectively, out of Alexander Weintraub and Stanislav Safronov for Mirage Racing, or for W&S Motorsport, Finn Zulauf and Max Kronberg. Although granted, that's a team with a lot more work to do overnight. So the cars that are not needed for the podium, and the drivers, are dispatched back to the paddock. And we can have a look at the highlights of that first GT4 European Series race of the weekend, which began with a great start by Alex Denning to take the lead, but an even better start in some respects by Benjamin Lariche to get up into second place. And he wasn't done yet, wasn't content with just sitting there. He made his move up the inside line and attacked for the race lead going into the hairpin. Drama though on the first lap for Finn Zulauf. There'd been contact ahead. He had to lift to avoid hitting the Mustang. He got hit in turn by Beke Besler, who in turn got into the wall. And with two badly damaged cars, both were out of the race, and we had our first interruption. Race got back underway as Alban Varuti was in a big battle with the Elite Motorsport McLarens, and it was a really brave restart by Josh Raskin around the outside line to grab third place. Then contact between Eric Evans in the Mustang and Simon Birch in the Porsche. A rub between them broke the suspension. Then off into the barriers went 317 mounting near the barn. The BMW carried on, and with a flapping front balance, the Mustang of Will Moore headed for the pits, and sad to say Jamie Day's Aston Martin headed for the barriers. And with debris all over the circuit, the race was interrupted. The pit window was delayed on his outlap into the wall and into retirement. Went number 26 Aston Martin, which was the car of Vinda Alasai. And so after all the pit stops had done, it was Audi number 3 ahead of the two Elite Motorsport McLarens, while a great battle raged on between Marco Signoretti in the red and white Mustang and the BMW of Pedro Ibrahim. Eventually, it was advantage Mustang. So Benjamin Lariche and Robert Consony won the race and took the fastest lap and keep alive their championship hopes going into tomorrow's final race of the season. So the drivers now making their way up to the podium. And Robert Consony, race winner with Benjamin Lariche in the end by 3.6 seconds, the winning margin. And the gap between the two McLarens, just under 2 seconds, 1.997 between the Toms, Tom Empson and recent BRDC full member Tom Leben. So as the course cars head down the pit lane, drivers being rounded up for the podium. We need the top 3 crews in the 3 classes. And in a few moments' time, that podium ceremony will be good to go. For the drivers, the honour of a first GT4 race in Jeddah, the podium for them. Teams coming into the championship don't score points, so that's why we have the situation on that graphic taking us into tomorrow's race. Right, the podium awaits.
Cheer for your favorites, and let's begin the celebration of our champions. Let's start with our Pro-Am category, a showcase of immense talent and determination. Drivers, please prepare yourself for your moment of glory. Ladies and gentlemen, let's begin by welcoming our Pro-Amateur podium finishers. In third place, we have Stanislav Safronov and Alexander Weintraub. Congratulations. A fantastic drive and a well-earned podium finish. Securing second place, ladies and gentlemen. Please give a big round of applause for Gustavo Javier and Richard Wolf. What an outstanding effort. Congratulations. And now, ladies and gentlemen, all right, shaking hands. Great job, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, the moment we have been waiting for, the winners of the Pro-Am Amateur category. Please welcome the winning team representative, AVR Avatar. And now, please welcome Alban Varuti and Julian Piguet. What an incredible performance. Congratulations. First place. And ladies and gentlemen, as we honor these incredible achievements, let's please stand for the national anthem of the winning team. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's present the trophies to our winners. It is the moment. First, let's welcome Mr. Khalid Walid Al-Swaidan, CEO of Saudi Automobile and Motorcycle Federation, to present the third place team trophy. What an outstanding performance by the team. Congratulations, well deserved. Third place. Stanislav Safronov and Alexander Vaintrub, congratulations. Thank you, Mr. Khalid. Now, please welcome Asil Suleiman Al-Hamad, Saudi Automobile and Motorcycle Federation board member, who will now present the second place team trophy. Let's hear it for the team. Congratulations. All right. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome His Royal Highness Prince Talal bin Mohammed Al Abdullah Al Faisal, Saudi Motorsport Company board member, to hand the first place representative trophy. AVR Avatar, congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, let's now welcome His Royal Highness Prince Khalid bin Sultan Al Abdullah Al Faisal, Chairman of Saudi Automobile and Motorcycle Federation and Saudi Motorsport Company, to hand over the winners, our pro amateurs champions, their trophy. Congratulations. Well deserved. Congratulations to all our winners tonight. A great finish, and now let's capture this moment with an official photo. Let's raise the trophies for the photo, please. Give it a smile, and congratulations. Thank you to our delegates. Thank you so much. If we can exit the podium. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to celebrate. Let's hear it for our champions.
So for Julien Piguet and Alban Varuti, it is a first victory of this season, although they've had success in the past in the AM Cup, Alban Varuti being sort of upgraded for this year. Straight away the podium is cleaned, ready for the next of the three ceremonies, and the winning drivers, not just with trophies, but camera phones as well, celebrating the moment. And as we've just seen, the very happy second placed duo of Gustavo Zoya and Richard Wolf making their way off the podium as well. Fourth in the class, Cindy Goudet and Gabriela Kova in that Toyota, so a good job down there. We have still an AM and a silver podium to attend to. There you can see the winning cars underneath the podium, and the next of the three, we should discover the order in a moment, but the drivers from Pro-Am celebrations down, making their way back to the pit lane with the non-alcoholic fizz in hand. And the celebrations for them, at least for today, concluded. So with trophies ready, with the podium clean, let's go back up to the podium ceremony.
We move to the silver category, where emerging talents and seasoned racers collide in a spectacular display of motorsport excellence. Let's welcome our silver podium finishers, please. In third place, please welcome Joshua Ratikan and Thomas Lebon. Congratulations, fantastic driving from this team. Thank you so much for your efforts. In second place, let's hear it for Alex Denning and Thomas Empson. Outstanding performance throughout the race. Congratulations, second place. And now, your first place team representative. Let's welcome Team Speed Car. Congratulations, Team Speed Car. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for our winners and silver champions, Benjamin Larich and Robert Consani. A well-deserved victory, Benjamin Larich and Robert Consani. Congratulations, first place. All right, let's have fun. We'd also like to recognize the rookie driver of the race. Please welcome Pedro Ibrahim for their remarkable achievements. Well done, Pedro. Please. Give it up. Rookie driver of the race. Congratulations, please. All right, now please rise as we play the national anthem of the winning team. All right, let's present the trophies to our winners. Please welcome Mansour Ali Al-Miqbal, CEO of Saudi Motorsports Company, to present the third place team trophy. Let's give it up, please. Congratulations to our third team. Well deserved. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome Mr. Khalid Walid Al-Swaidan, CEO of Saudi Automobile and Motorcycle Federation, to present the second place team trophy. Congratulations, well deserved. Our drivers coming in second place. And ladies and gentlemen, finally, His Royal Highness Prince Khalid bin Sultan Al Abdullah Al Faisal, Chairman of Saudi Automotive and Motorcycle Federation and Saudi Motorsport Company, to hand the first place team representative and winners, drivers, their silver champions trophies. Handing over the trophy to the team representative of the winning team. Congratulations, Team Speed Car. And now, His Royal Highness is going to hand over the trophies for the first team winners. Congratulations. First driver trophy and the second driver trophy. Congratulations, a well-deserved win. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. We'd also like to welcome back Asil Al-Hamad, board member SAMF, to present the rookie driver trophy. Welcome back, Asil. Congratulations to our rookie driver of the race. Well-deserved. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the official photo. Raise your trophies. Congratulations. Smile and take the picture. All right. Thank you so much. Let's bring the energy up again as we exit the podium for the delegates, please. It is time to celebrate with music. Let's hear it for our silver podium winners.
So Benjamin Larich and Robert Consani take a third win of the season, keep alive the championship hopes going into tomorrow's final race of this 12-round Season 4 GT4 European Series powered by RAFA Racing Club. And that means that the AM Podium will round out the day here at the Jeddah Corniche circuit. There you can see the Elite Motorsport McLaren that still leads silver in the championship, number 78, sitting under the podium, midway up the pit lane. And as the teams exit the podium from silver, the AM drivers await, one of whom is a soloist, Roman Wozniak, who took third in his class. But a really impressive drive by both Benjamin Lariche and Robert Consigny, who, as I've been saying all day long, has just really excelled around here. He's taken to the circuit instantly and well. So Robert Consigny and Benjamin Lariche the winners. Alex Denning, Tom Empson second, Josh Raskin and Tom Levin in third. And a great super slow-mo shot, not just of all three cars, but of how much curb is used at turn 2, how much load goes through the car as well. And the AM podium will be our last one. The bottles put in place and the dignitaries are ready. The drivers are ready as well, and that means I think that we can go back to the podium ready for the presentations to be made to the top 3 AMs.
Now it is time for the amateur category. These drivers have proven themselves with skill and sheer determination. Let's give them the recognition they deserve, please. In third place, we have Roman Wozniak. A fantastic drive. Well done, Roman. Congratulations, third place. And in second place, please welcome Anthony DeBarn and John Matthew Leondre. Congratulations to the drivers in second place. All right. What a strong performance throughout the race. And now your AM category champions, team representative, Schumacher CLRT. Oh, you're late. You're a bit late, but okay. You're in second place. Congratulations. There we go. Congratulations to the champions, team representative, Schumacher CLRT. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the winners in first place. Please give it up for Pascal Huto and Logan Jurgen. Incredible work. Congratulations. Our drivers coming in first place for our amateur category. As we celebrate these victories, ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem of the winning team. All right, now let's present the trophies to our winners. Please welcome Mansour Al-Miqbil to present the third place team trophy. Congratulations, Roman Wozniak. Now we please welcome Mr. Khalid Swaidan to present the second place team trophy. Congratulations. Well deserved. Coming in second place. Anthony DeBarn and John Matthew Leondre, congratulations. And now let's welcome back His Royal Highness Prince Talal bin Mohammed Al Abdullah Al Faisal to hand over our first place team representative trophy and the winning drivers their amateur champions trophies. Congratulations to the winning team and the drivers. These are the trophies. Outstanding performance, well deserved in first place. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the official photo. Smile, everyone. Raise your trophies. All right, let's celebrate one last time as they exit. The delegates, please exit the podium. It is time to celebrate with some music. Congratulations.
So well done to our champions. And 11:40 tomorrow, track action resumes here at the Jeddah Corniche circuit. That's qualifying for GT3 with GT4 Racing at 5-2. We'll see you tomorrow.